The harvest that never came in the fertile valley of Arimojija, where the morning mist clung to the fields like a blessing, lived a young man named Fowler. He was handsome, clever with words, and known for his easy smile. But beneath that charm was a troubling truth. Fowler despised work. He believed that intelligence alone should sustain him, and that those who sweated in the sun were simply foolish. He would stroll through the village in clean clothes, while others were bent over yam mounds or tapping palm wine. Farmers returning from the fields often found him sitting by their huts, greeting them with exaggerated warmth. "Ah, my brother, your farm must be the envy of the world. You, sir, are a genius with the hoe." Sometimes the flattery worked. A farmer might hand him a roasted yam or a gourd of palm wine. Fowler would enjoy it proudly, believing he had outsmarted everyone. But as seasons passed, the villagers began to whisper. "He eats like a king," they said, "yet his hands are as smooth as a newborn's. He reaps where he never sowed," another added. "Let him at least clear a tiny plot. Even the lazy hyena hunts when hunger is near." But Fowler ignored them. "Why should I waste strength?" he told himself. "As long as others work, I shall enjoy the benefits." Then came the year the elders still speak of, the year the rains betrayed the land. Clouds gathered but refused to open. The river shrank. The soil cracked like broken pottery. Day after day, the sun beat the earth with a merciless hand. Farmers rushed to salvage what they could. They watered their crops at night, prayed to their ancestors, and rationed every grain stored in their barns. Even the robust hunters returned from the forest with empty hands. Animals had migrated deeper and deeper in search of water. For the first time in his life, Fowler became nervous. But still, he clung to his old habit. He brushed his hair, straightened his tunic, and set out to visit the hardworking villagers. At the first farm, he greeted the owner, Baba Ojo, with his usual wide smile. "Great farmer. Surely your yams have grown fat despite the poor season." Baba Ojo looked at him with tired eyes. "My son, even the gods know that this year has humbled every man. What my hands produced is barely enough for my own household." Fowler laughed weakly, pretending not to understand, and went to another farmer and another. But everywhere, the answer was the same. "We depend on our own sweat this season. No surplus this year. Our barns are too empty for generosity. We cannot feed a man who refuses to work." For the first time, their words pierced him. By the fourth day, hunger wrapped itself around him like chains. His tongue was dry, his legs weak, and his pride wounded. He sat under an udala tree, trembling with the painful realization that charm could not fill a stomach. One evening, while the villagers prepared their modest meals, Fowler sat outside his hut staring at his empty calabash. An old woman named Mama Abeni passed by and shook her head gently. "My son," she said, "no one can survive forever on the sweat of others. Even the chick must scratch the earth to find its own worms." Her words were simple, but they broke through his stubbornness. The next sunrise, before birds sang, Fowler walked to a small, unused patch of land at the edge of the village. It was covered in weeds, stones, and stubborn roots. It was not the fertile farmland he dreamed of claiming, but it was his. His palms blistered within hours. His back ached, sweat soaked his clothes. Several times he thought of quitting, but hunger pushed him forward. When he finally planted the first set of yam seedlings, he felt something strange, a quiet pride he had never known. Weeks later, tiny green shoots appeared. He knelt beside them, touching the leaves gently. For once, he understood the joy of creation, the dignity of effort, the sweetness hidden in honest labor. By the next harvest season, his small farm produced only a modest yield, but it was his. When he cooked the first yam, he ate slowly, tasting not just the food but the lesson. The villagers noticed the change. Some nodded approvingly, others smiled. A few even offered advice, not pity. Fowler didn't return to begging. He didn't need to. He had discovered that a bowl earned by effort is richer than a feast collected through manipulation. Moral reflection depending on the labor of others is a short-lived strategy. People may indulge someone for a while, but seasons change, fortunes shift, and every community eventually prioritizes those who contribute. Only what you work for is truly yours. A person who avoids labor today must face the consequences tomorrow. True security, respect, and dignity come from one's own effort, not from living off the industry of others.